We've all been there, right? Ripping open a pack of Pokémon cards, your heart pounding, just hoping for that one incredible pull. Well, today we're going to dive deep into the history of that exact feeling. We're going on a journey to see how the ultimate prize in the Pokémon TCG has changed over the last 25 plus years.
It's the question every single collector asks themselves. What is it that makes one card the one to get? How does a simple piece of cardboard become this coveted treasure? Well, the answer boils down to one simple idea: the chase card.
A chase card. Yeah, that's the one you're dreaming of when you open a pack. It's the card that basically defines an entire set, the one everyone's talking about online, and the one that carries the most weight, both in your wallet and in your heart.
But here's the thing. What collectors were hunting for back in 1999 is a completely different world from what we're all looking for today. So to really get it, we've got to go back, way back, to where it all started.
All right, let's set the scene. We're talking 1999. Think dial-up internet, the original 151 Pokémon on your Game Boy. This is the era that built the very foundation of Pokémon card collecting as we know it.
Back then, things were, well, a lot simpler. The big chase was for a holo, just a simple holographic card. And of course, the kings of the playground were the big three: Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Pulling one of these felt amazing, and with a pull rate of about 1 in every 3 packs, it actually felt possible. The only real difference from any other rare card was that shiny, glittery background.
But it wasn't quite that simple for long. See, this is where the real obsession kicked in. The super dedicated collectors, they started to notice little things. That not all holographic Charizards were actually the same. And suddenly, the chase wasn't just for a Charizard, it was for a specific kind of Charizard.
Okay, so this is absolutely crucial if you're into vintage cards. You've got 3 main print runs to know. First up is First Edition. That's the Holy Grail, and you can't miss that little Edition 1 stamp on the side. Next is Shadowless. It's a bit more subtle. The art box doesn't have that dark drop shadow on the right side. And finally, you have the most common version, Unlimited, which does have that shadow. For old-school collectors, knowing this is everything.
So, as we headed into the new millennium, the Pokémon world got bigger with all the new creatures from the Johto region. And with them, the very definition of a chase card was about to get a serious and very shiny upgrade. Man, this period was just packed with new ideas. We got new Pokémon from Gold and Silver, we got the first ever reverse holos with that incredible firework pattern, and we got these super unique crystal Pokémon. But there was one new type of card that truly changed the entire game. This was it. Shining Pokémon. For the very first time, you could actually pull a Pokémon in its alternate color scheme, you know, the shinies from the video games. And these weren't just regular holos where the background was shiny. No, the Pokémon itself was made of foil, making it pop right off the card like nothing we'd ever seen before. And here's why it was such a big deal. The odds. We went from a pretty reasonable 1 in 3 chance for a holo to roughly a 1 in 18 chance for a shining Pokémon. That's a massive jump. All of a sudden, pulling that Shining Magikarp or the legendary Shining Charizard wasn't just about getting lucky in a few packs. It became a serious hunt.
Okay, so if Shining Pokémon started the rarity arms race, the next era, the EX era, well, it basically launched that arms race into outer space. This wasn't just about powerful new cards anymore. This was about a whole new level of hard to find.
So first, let's just quickly clear something up that trips up a lot of collectors. We're talking about Pokémon EX here, with a lowercase e and x. These had that cool holographic border and were a new tier of rare. They are totally different from the later Pokémon EX, all caps, which we'll definitely get to in a bit. So while those Pokémon X cards were the new cool thing to pull, they weren't the real chase of the era. Oh no. The true prize, the ultimate hunt, was something else entirely. And if you thought shining Pokémon were rare, you might want to buckle up.
I'm talking about Gold Star Pokémon. These were like the next evolution of shining Pokémon. They also featured shiny Pokémon, but now they had this tiny, iconic gold star right next to their name. And the artwork was so dynamic, it was literally breaking out of the frame. Cards like the Rayquaza and Charizard Gold Star, they became instant legends.
In the pull rate, get this, approximately 1 in 72 packs. To put that in perspective, that's about 1 gold star card per 2 entire booster boxes. Can you even imagine? You'd have to open 2 full boxes on average just to find one. The chase had officially become an endurance sport. Right, so after the intensity of the Gold Star hunt, Pokémon entered this really interesting period of experimentation. The next few years brought us a whole bunch of different mechanics, and each one had its own unique type of chase card to go after. This era gave us this awesome trio of new chase cards. You had Level X cards, which were these powerful upgrades you played right on top of a fully evolved Pokémon. Then there were Legend cards. These were so cool. You had to pull two completely separate halves of a card to combine them into one stunning, massive image. And finally, you had Prime cards, which really stood out with their intense, zoomed-in artwork and unique silver borders.
Okay, now we're entering what a lot of people consider the beginning of the modern era of collecting. The focus really began to shift away from just rarity and game mechanics and toward the one thing that matters most to so many collectors today, the artwork.
And this right here, this was the game changer. Remember those all-caps Pokémon EX I mentioned earlier? Well, they brought us full art cards. For the first time ever, the art wasn't stuck inside that little yellow box. It went from border to border, edge to edge, and it was paired with these beautiful, intricate foil patterns that you could actually feel. It was a revolution.
This art revolution just opened the floodgates. Full arts became the new standard. Then came the secret rares, often with flashy gold borders. The Sun and Moon era went even crazier, introducing the dazzling rainbow rares and the fan-favorite tag team cards, which had this incredible, dynamic art of two Pokémon fighting side by side.
And that brings us right up to today. The massive collecting boom around 2020 ushered in the Sword and Shield era, which, you guessed it, redefined what a chase card means all over again.
The chase became about alternate arts. These cards took the idea of a full art and just elevated it to another level. They weren't just portraits of Pokémon anymore. They were entire illustrations that told a story. They showed Pokémon in their natural habitats, interacting with each other, just living their lives. This is why cards like the Moonbreon, Umbreon VMAX became the absolute pinnacle of modern collecting.
Today, in the Scarlet and Violet era, the rarity system is more structured and clear than it's ever been. We have this new rarity ladder. You start with a standard double rare X card, then you move up to the ultra rare full arts with texture, then the beautiful illustration rares, and then you get to the top tiers. The special illustration rares, which are today's alternate arts, and the stunning all gold hyper rares.
So when you look back from a simple, shiny background to these incredibly detailed, story-driven works of art, the chase has constantly evolved. It really makes you wonder, right? As technology and artistry keep pushing forward, what will the next generation of chase cards even look like? The hunt, it seems, is far from over.